Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms. And these are Charter Moms chats where we go live on weekday afternoons to share information that will help families choose schools that are the right fit for their children. And it is already enrollment season to plan ahead for the 2023-24 school year. We've been updating and resharing our enrollment guide blog post. And today we're featuring Royal Public Schools, which is in its second year on the Southside of San Antonio. And so to talk about Royal Public Schools, we have Dr. Tarim, who's the founder and CEO of Royal Public Schools. He has a long list of accomplishments, but this is his current project, and I'm really excited to see Royal taking root and growing on the south side of San Antonio. And we're gonna talk all about it. Oh, and here's my plug. If you want to read the enrollment guide blog post, it's on the top of the list at sachartermoms.com, and there's also a link in the description of the video. Soner, thank you so much for joining me on Charter Moms Chats.
Thank you, Inga. Thank you for having me on your Facebook live chat. We really appreciate what you do for the parents of San Antonio. I mean, yeah, you are incredibly kind and very helpful for so many families in San Antonio area. I want to really appreciate for that, not just for charter schools though, for families of both traditional ISDs as well as charter schools. I think we appreciate what you do for the San Antonio. Thank you.
Oh, well, that means so much to me. Actually, that gives me a good excuse to plug the discussion group on Facebook, because what we've learned, so if anyone searches for SA Charter Moms discussion or San Antonio Charter Moms discussion group, and really that's where I get a sense of what parents want to know, that it's really about what's best for their kids. And if a charter school is the right fit, great. If a traditional public school is the right fit, or homeschooling or micro school, everything's on the table. It's about what's best for kids.
Exactly, that's what I believe. Like, what is the right choice for parents? That's why I greatly appreciate, like, you are the only person that I know in the state of Texas that really helps families guide them to the right school, what they need.
Well, that means so much to me. Thank you. And I'm really grateful for, we broke 10,000 members in the Facebook group recently. Wow. And I'm really excited about that. And I remember it took about 6 months just to get 100 members. Oh. But it's been a learning process, and it's really gratifying to me that there are so many families who want to find the right school for their kids, and they're willing to be creative and go to a little extra effort about it, even if they have to fill out an extra application or two, or maybe go on a school tour or things like that.
That's great. 10,000 membership is really great.
Thank you. I want to be sure we spend time talking about Royal Public Schools. So it's been really exciting for me to watch the journey of y'all going through the application process and refining the application, and then getting the approval, and then finding out where the campus is going to be. And so I feel like I'm well versed in Royal Public Schools, but there's still families who haven't heard of it yet. Because it's a small school, it's new. So can you talk about like the mission and vision of Royal Public Schools, like why you wanted to build it, why on the south side of San Antonio?
Yes. So again, thank you. So I think mission and visions are the two components of any organization, any foundation. It's a foundation of first step to start. And we intentionally and purposefully select our mission and vision statement. Really, I mean, it's really represents what we're all about. So that is to spark our students' natural curiosity and love of learning. So think about it, sparking natural curiosity and love of learning. And all we can do in our school to provide them knowledge and skill that they need to lead successful and fulfilling life. So that's in a nutshell what is mission statement is about. And when it comes to vision, our vision is to establish an educational system that prepares curious, knowledgeable, responsible, and well-rounded future leaders in our region. So again, yes, you are right. We're a small, fledgling, growing charter school in the south of San Antonio. Our purpose is to really expand to, basically, establish and replicate this program all over the San Antonio.
Well, what you're talking about curiosity and the love of learning, I feel like those are so important for kids, and because that's where their intrinsic motivation comes from. Like if they, exactly. Yeah. And what you talked about the vision, about students being well-rounded, that I think that's something you've learned over the years, is that I mean, personally, I strongly believe in the value of STEM education because I want my kids to have lots of choices about their jobs. And if they have a really good foundation in math and science, that opens doors for them. But in order to really succeed, even in the sciences, it's really important to have creativity, have good literacy, and, good communication skills, written and spoken. Um, that's a key part of the academic model, right? Like the Streams 360
Mhm.
model.
Yes.
So I was wondering if you could talk more about that and also about the Royal Block, because those are essential parts of the curriculum at Royal Public
Yes.
Schools.
So you know some of the important elements of our program, but as you said, a lot of people in the area really they don't know what we are all about and what we offer. And so when we talk about really STEM education, I've been doing STEM education last 23, 24 years, and I started one of the largest network in the state of Texas, just doing STEM education. But after 18, 19 years, I really realized that STEM education is not alone. You can, I mean, definitely STEM helps, prepare students for college, for life beyond, and provide a lot of challenges that they come across, and you can overcome easily. But STEM wasn't enough for me. Now what I'm thinking is, art, social motion learning, music, basically what I come up with Stream 360. In addition to STEM, we added art, music, reading, which is an essential component, and then they are coupled and supported with social motion learning. That makes it like students whole rounded. The entire student is you have to think about as a whole child. So that's why Stream 360 becomes an important element as a core component of our program. But when we talk about really what are the core components of this Royal Education, Royal Public Schools, are I can actually put them together in 9 different components. So if you look at any successful high-performing charter school as well as public schools, traditional schools, there are 9 components that I actually observed over the past 25 years. That if you have those elements, your school are going to be very successful. The first and foremost, of course, in our program, you have to have a rigorous and challenging curriculum, right? That's one of the first component, 9 component that we offer. The second, once you have the rigorous, program and instruction, how are you going to measure that? You have to like assess it and progress monitoring. It's a second component. The third one, you may have excellent curriculum and then you like really test them and make sure that it's being done. Who does this? Of course, you have to have a highly capable of staff and faculty, teachers. So recruitment and effective development of another important component of any successful program, which you will see those elements at Royal Public Schools. Then the fourth component is in every school you will have students with special needs, whether they are special education students or you have gifted and talented students. There are subcomponents. You have population in the schools that you cannot ignore them. They are essential part of your school system, and you have to make sure that everyone served properly, as well as your general population. Another component of successful program or Royal program is parent and student engagement. I mean, I cannot think of any successful school that will not have parental support. Without parental support, you're not going to be successful. Obviously, another component is extracurricular activities that we offer in our schools, whether they're STEM program, robotics, or gardening, outdoor activities. Those are some of the few items that we offer here at Royal Public Schools. Another component, right now we are elementary school. We're adding 1 grade afterward every year, but when we get to certain level, careers and military readiness are essential in the state of Texas. You have to have that component in your program, which we address them in the future years. Again, we talk about social emotional learning. Like without social emotional support, whether your students or your teachers, you're not going to go too far. I mean, you can be an excellent school, but we always hear about and talk about when the kids come to college, first year, second year, there's a high dropout rate. Why? Because they are not socially emotionally ready for going, even if they have or 4.0 GPA. And lastly, at any school, organizational skill, protocol, procedures are also last important components. So those are the core component of our Royal Public Schools that we offer. You mentioned, I'm sort of like I talk a lot and fast when I talk about our program because that's what I like about what we offer. And you talk about like Royal blocks, right? What makes Royal Public School different than any other schools, whether the traditional ISTs or charter schools, that we have offer a Royal block. So Royal block is basically you can think of as a special time and period set aside for every day for either enrichment or remediation, right? Intervention. And we know after 2 years, 2.5 years of pandemic, we know that many of our kids, they need to, they need a lot of intervention, and we need to close the gap. Royal block is the perfect match for those who are struggling, who are behind their subject level in any subject. So, and then in this Royal block, you can think of like it's like project-based learning. It's done in a separate time, especially ELA and math. So those are the differentiating factors of our program at Royal Public Schools. So,
yeah. Well, what you talk about with the Royal block, with it's that opportunity for intervention, like find out where the kids are at, and then get them the extra help they need so that they can be on grade level. Because being on grade level is what it helps predict their future success. And even just today in the discussion group, a parent posted that she was really, especially a stepmom, she was concerned that she felt like at their neighborhood public school, the child had just been passed and was getting A's and B's on her report card, but a third grader who was functioning like a kindergartner, just because the past 3 years have been really disrupted, and with systems under stress, sometimes it's easier to just put a good grade and just pass the kid. But if you're a parent or a caregiver and you really want your child to graduate from high school ready to go to college, ready to jump into a demanding career, you don't want them to just get passed. You want somebody to sit down with them and really make sure they have those fundamental skills.
Exactly. I mean, Inga, you're right on target. Like anybody can give like A, B's to students. Like what the teachers are give to students. To me, it's great. It's important, but it's not enough. Like, are they really ready? Are they really at the grade level? And we know that now, after pandemic, almost I would say comfortably 80-90% of our students are not ready. They are not at the grade level. They are really far behind. And we have seen the third, fourth graders reading in the first grade level. That's why, like from the beginning, regardless of whether we have received grant or not, my pledge, my team and I, our principal, we all said we're going to provide free after school care because we want our students to stay after school and we need to help them to get to where they need to be. And in my previous, organization that I started as a founder, there was a Credo study that shows that, our kids actually earn additional 60 days in any given year, like almost 1.5 years of growth in every year and year after year. That's what we want to be. Like, we want to have not just 1 year growth, we want to have more than 1 year growth so the students are ready for college. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think parents are still coming to grips with, what happened to our kids over the past few years. But I think as parents realize, hey, my kid might need some extra help, then I want them to be aware of, schools like Royal, where, the classes are small, there's time set aside in the schedule, and, kids are going to get that individual attention to make sure that they're making progress.
Again, it's part of STEM 360. Like it's a project-based learning. Students, set aside during the set aside time. Those students who struggle, they get whatever they need in it specifically, and those who are advanced, if they are gifted, they will deal with programs or artificial intelligence programs, deal with those subjects so they can continue to grow fast. We don't hold anybody back. We just want to make sure that everybody progress.
Yeah. And I think sometimes parents worry that if they choose a school where the kids are making a lot of academic progress, that means it's crowding out the things like art or STEM activities, or the project-based learning or outdoor activities. But what's amazing about Royal is that you're still fitting in all of those things that students still get to experience.
Yes.
Like, I remember visiting the art class, visiting the robotics class, and kids are doing amazing stuff, like very young children, playing with the robot kits. And the art class was like very energetic, and they were all really proud to show what they had made.
I mean, I wish, we were able to show you some live demonstration at this program. that, right now as we speak, like our music, now we have a music teacher, or full-time music teacher, art teacher on site. Yes, academics are important. We want to make sure our kids learn their basics, right? They're ready. But I mean, we have an excellent art teacher, excellent music teacher, like PE. We all offer, like, it's a 360, the whole child. Like, you cannot just ignore other soft skills like require for them to learn and get ready and be life ready. And that's all about. I mean, that's what we do here.
Yeah. Well, what kind of, I know when I was on campus last, I got to talk to two grandparents who were very proud, very happy to see the progress that their grandkids were making. So I'm wondering, what kind of feedback are you hearing from the parents and caregivers who have kids at Royal, and what kind of stories do the kids come home and tell their parents or grandparents?
I mean, I personally, being out there in like 7 a.m. in the morning every day, and greet parents and grandparents, to school. And many of them, like, really, I mean, you see, of course, yes, some kids like come with, like, they're sleepy, like they're, we pick them up, like teachers we pick personally, like pick them up from the car. And many of them, really, they want to come here. I mean, the feedback that we got from our parents and grandparents, because I have to say grandparents too, because many times, now I mean, 20 years ago it was different. Now I see that at least 30-40% of our children are taken care of by grandparents, which is great. And the first thing they tell us, like, this is a small and safe school. Like, safety is an utmost priority for us, right? Small and safe schools. And the attention they receive here, because we're small in general, small class size, and they really like it. And there is a personal touch with families and us. And I don't know if you have seen it, like, we organize events with our parents and grandparents, and there's a lot of interaction. When you have great interaction with your families, they trust you. I mean, because children are the most valuable treasure they have. So they want to make sure that they are taken care of by someone they can trust. The only way you can create trust is, spending more time with them. Just last week, we had a grandparent night with our grandparents, and they all came, met with faculty members, teachers. We celebrate grandparent day, and we have loteria nights. All right, we just play and have fun over the weekends, and we're going to continue to have that throughout the year on a monthly basis. So there's a lot of activities that we organize that they create a strong school culture and connection. And of course, one other thing that they always tell us, more than 50% of our parents, they take advantage of our free after school care, because they are comfortable. They can leave these children here while they are learning and having fun. They continue, like, get the benefit of being at Royal Public School. So I think lots of feedback, lots of positive feedback that we receive our parents.
Yeah, well, I follow Royal on social media, and I keep seeing, like, wow, they're having another event, like, and I was like, wow, that looks really fun. And
Yes.
it just means, like, that's the commitment that you're making to get to know the families and have them get to know each other and feel comfortable with the school, have that trust.
Sure. I mean, we really want to be a neighborhood school to serve our neighbors. And we just signed a partnership with San Antonio Food Bank, and I'm proud to announce that starting next month, we're going to distribute food, not just our parents, but everybody in the neighborhood, monthly basis. So it's going to be great, connection again, not just with parents, with the entire community. So Royal is going to represent this neighborhood, very well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know, and we've talked about this before, but the building that Royal Public Schools is in is really unique. It's over 100 years old. It was
Yes.
a Catholic school for many years, and I know that, like, alumni have come back and told ghost stories about about the building, and but it's part of putting down roots and getting to know the neighborhood.
Yes, yes. I mean, that's another thing that we are proud of it. This building was built in 1921. Yes, over 100 years ago, and it's beautiful building, built as a Catholic school, and they've been used this facility and served the community for about 80 years. And in 2000, actually, was taken over by another charter school, and they serve well, in this community. another 20 years. So as of last June 2021, we took over. Obviously, it was an old building, but we did a lot of makeup. I mean, inside and outside, the entire, we want to make sure that the building is conducive to learning. I mean, we paint it with little bright, colorful paints, and revise, remodel restrooms. Almost everything is, it's just like, it's a beautiful building, from outside and inside. And anybody who come in here, like really anybody who come here, I can tell you 99% of those people said, yes, I want my child in this building. That's really makes me happy. And there is some sort of sense of ownership, sense of spirit in this building. About 100 years, I think our legacy is to continue the same legacy and serve this community under this roof. So we're really proud of our building.
Yeah, well, I remember seeing like the new windows go in and like the new driveway, and then I hadn't realized until you explained it to me that the property is very deep. That the elementary school is in the building that's right up front by the street, but that there's room to expand. So when y'all get to
Yes.
middle school, high school grades, there's room to grow.
That is correct. So we have about 8-acre lands right behind this building. Everybody sees the front side of the building. We're right on the edge on South Presa. But if you go fair, we have a huge lot, goes all the way to Hackberry. And our plan is to really build middle school, even though this building can easily handle K through 12. And we are approved for K through 12. Right now, we are elementary school grades, but we are adding one grade every year. But our plan is to build another middle school, high school building on the same property. And so then we can separate middle school, elementary, and high school. We can have a successful program. Yes, that's our plan for this facility. I mean, since you mentioned about the growth and expansion, we are approved to open 4 more schools, and because of our background experience, our plan is to replicate in a cluster model, meaning that there are a couple elementary school will feed into middle school and that feed into high school. I think that's an ideal model to really support and serve in any given neighborhood is to having a cluster model of multiple schools. So that's our plan. That's our expansion plan. That's what we want to do. And as long as there's a demand here, and as long as parents are happy and we are successful, I think there's a lot of room to grow for charter school as well as traditional ISDs.
Yeah, I agree. There is room to grow, and that's what Tarim Moms is trying to do is make more families aware that they have choices and they can find a school where they feel like it's the right fit, where their children feel like they have that love of learning and they have that curiosity, and that's what's going to bring out the best in kids is if they feel like this is a place where I belong. And like you said, having these like smaller school settings where everybody knows each other, the teachers know all the students, and it feels safe and secure.
Yes, definitely. I mean, like our teachers, administrators, everybody know their students by their name, first name, last name. We know their needs. We know what their capacity right now. Even though this is our second year, I mean, there is a lot of great bond between our faculty and the students. So, I mean, there is a lot of stories here. Like you can talk to our parents, grandparents. There are kids who came here because of obviously after pandemic, a lot of them never been in school for a while, but kids were like in first day of school, they were afraid, they were crying, like you see this kind of stories. But then I mean, within 1 year, there are students who are afraid to get out of car. Now they want to come into school, come to Royal every day, like with smile face. And I mean, this is a really incredible, place. Not just because I say this because I'm the founder. I can observe every day. I mean, I've never seen this any other place, but in this location, it's happening. And there's a great culture growing in the South Side. And this school is going to be the best to serve this community.
Yeah. Well, I think what you said I think is really important. That like families should come and see for themselves. They can see the beautiful building. They can observe a class and see like how students are behaving. So do you have advice for families who are I guess like let's talk about like kind of enrollment. I think that's part of what is a little different for folks about charter school. I know it was for me 10 years ago trying to figure out like, wait, I'm supposed to do what? Like, well, like, what if they don't have room? Like, it's not the same as your neighborhood school where you just walk in and they have to find a place for you. But there's a limited number of places. But the best time to apply is during open enrollment, and then
Yes.
families can plan ahead for right. So there are seats for the current school year, right? In grades
Yes,
K through 5.
there are seats for availability for current year, except the kindergarten. We are full in kindergarten. Unless somebody leaves, but like normally it doesn't happen. But first grade through fifth grade, we have space. We can still take application this year, just because we're a new school. In my previous organization that I started, we had every year we had about 25,000 people on our wait list. I was always proud to say that, even though it hurts you because you cannot help 25,000 kids, the families that are waiting outside. This was real and happened every year. And I think eventually we're going to have wait list numbers. But right now, yes, we're taking anybody who are coming in, because if we're small, we're growing. But for next school year, if you're thinking about Royal Public Schools, we are actually ready to take application as of now. But we're going to kick off our application period October 1st, all the way to March 9th, which is the last day of application. And then the following day, we will do lottery, and then, just like continue our enrollment process. So, but this year K5, next year it's going to be K6. So we're going to take sixth graders also. And then every year afterward, you don't have to worry about re-enrolling or reapplying, because once you're in a charter school, as part of charter school law, you can, as long as you stay and you continue in the same school, as long as you go through K through 12. Yes, it's available. The best way to reach us, either website, which is, it's right on the screen, royaltx.org. You can apply there, or you can call us. Our number is 210-531-0300, and you can call and make an appointment, or just stop by. You can stop by anytime in the afternoon. We're open until 6 p.m., from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Even if you don't call, even if you don't set up, you anonymous come, we're happy to set up a tour. If you call us, I think we prefer that. We can give you a longer tour. We can dedicate a time. But if you just show up, I hope that you don't show up right around the dismissal time, because between 3 and 4 o'clock it's really busy. But beyond that, we're happy to give tours anytime. We'll make time. But we prefer, of course, a phone call and appointment.
Yeah. Well, because the number one thing is teaching and taking good care of the students who are there. But
Yes.
it's also important to, I know that y'all have had open houses to make sure that the neighborhood and the alumni of St. Teresa's, that that everyone knows, and has a good feeling about what's happening in the building. That it's not a mystery. It's this beautiful school being built, but welcoming in the community so they can see it come to fruition.
Yes. Exactly. Really, it's a beautiful neighborhood, beautiful place, and growing. And I think in about a few years, this place is going to be unrecognized. Our neighbors are coming us, telling us how beautiful this place is. They're changing. They're really happy what they see, what kind of improvement they see. Our kids, how they behave, how they interact with the faculty and the neighborhood. So it is. You can tell from how I talk. I'm extremely optimistic about our future, because what we have here, what we support, what we provide to our students, and I know that every one of our students will be true to our mission. They're going to lead successful and fulfilling life. It doesn't matter what kind of job they get. Remember I said in our mission statement how I started. We provide knowledge and skill. We want to spark their curiosity and love of learning. And then we provide knowledge and skills for them to be, lead successful and fulfilling life. Doesn't matter what kind of job they get, as long as they are successful and fulfilling life. When you get to a certain age, all you want to have, peaceful mind and successful and fulfilling, healthy life. That's what we want for our students to be.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful vision, and it's so special to be bringing that to the South Side, because then you can, and it's a charter school, so you can welcome students from all backgrounds. There's no tuition,
Yes.
and families can come and they can be part of building this new community.
Exactly. I mean, I'm really happy and proud with this. It's 4x4 from the building aesthetics to the people in the building and the children and the parents. We're growing and creating a really a strong school culture of collaboration, culture of high expectation for our kids. That's what we are all about.
Yeah, yeah. Well, wonderful. Well, on that note, see, I'm going to put the website up on the screen one more time. So royaltx.org. That's where families can learn more about Royal. They can fill out an application, or if they're not ready to fill out application, they can contact you all. And like you said, just call on the phone and set up a time for a school tour. You can be able to spend plenty of time showing them the school, explaining the school model, and they can see for themselves what you're building, and they can get an application in, whether it's for grades 1 through 5 for the current year or K through 6 for the coming school year.
For the next year. Yes.
Well, great. Well, Sonia, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for helping us update the enrollment guide blog post so we can, keep spreading the word about Royal Public Schools. And I look forward to seeing you soon, maybe at the Charter School Conference next week.
Yes, I think yes. I'm heading there. Next week, actually starting Sunday. I hope to see you there. And Inga, again, thank you so much what you do for families. Not for us, actually, for families. I greatly appreciate having us on your program. But I think overall, you have done a tremendous work for parents, for children to find the right school for the right school choice for them. I think that's really important.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Okay, well, take care, Sonia. I'll see you soon.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.